Well, we're here on the banks of beautiful Swift Creek, and we're going to be talking with Marcie Down, who's the Executive Director of Tourism Valemount. Marcie, welcome.
Thank you very much, Michael, for having me out on such a beautiful sunny day.
I know, it is wonderful. And we're here to talk about BC Trails Day. Now, BC Trails Day is going to be Saturday, June the 7th, and it is the first Saturday in June, a province-wide event that highlights the vital role trails play in recreation, health, tourism, and community life. There's over 40,000 kilometers of managed trails across BC, and the day celebrates how trails contribute to the well-being, local economies, and environmental stewardship of the communities that they're in. And so what a perfect day to be talking about trails. So let me ask you, do you know how many trails there are here in the Valemount area?
We have over a dozen trails that are accessible to the general public.
And that's just right in the immediate Valemount area?
That's just right in the middle of Valemount. Never mind the 56 trails of the mountain bike park as well.
Right, awesome. So there's obviously it has to be somebody that maintains all these trails. There's a volunteer organization in Valemount who does that. Can you tell us who that is?
Yes, that is Yora, or the Yellowhead Outdoor Recreation Association, and they are very avid volunteers that help build trails and maintain the trails as well. And then there's also VARTA, the Valemount Area Recreation Development Association, and they have a number of volunteers and also paid trail maintenance people too.
Okay, well, hiking is one of the premier things to do here in the Valemount area in the summertime. What would you say would be some of the easier trails in our area that almost anybody could complete?
Well, there are a number of easier trails for sure, and one of them being Swift Creek as well. There's also Little Cranberry Lake, which is a great little trail. Goes down to a beautiful little lake that some people do fish at. There's also George Hicks Regional Park, which is a nice little looping trail. And if you go in August to September, you might see the Chinook salmon spawning there as well.
Okay. And some of the other close ones might be, from my memory, Rearguard Falls, which is a pretty easy trail for most people. And
yeah.
And again, in the fall, you might be lucky enough to see salmon trying to leap over the falls there.
Absolutely, it's stellar to see that in September as well, when the salmon try to leap over. And then if you go a little bit further down, of course, we have Mount Robson and the Kidney Lake Trail, and opening up again on June 28th is the Berg Lake Trail.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. And then there's Overlander Falls, which is an easy little stroll down there.
Yeah.
One of the most beautiful falls. And Little Lost Lake is another great family kind of trail, right?
That is, and great place to go fishing as well, as long as you have your BC fishing license.
Well, I say let's go out there and explore this beautiful Swift Creek Trail, which runs right through our community and provides our local water supply. Let's do it.
Absolutely, let's go.
So Marcie, we talked about what would be some of the best, the easier trails that anyone could complete. What would be some of the best trails that are best suited for people with young families, younger children, or even pets?
Well, there's a few great ones for that sort of thing. One of my favorites to take our dog for trail walks and my grandchildren is the BC Jackman Flats Park. Nice sandy trails. You got to keep your dog on a leash though, and on the trail as well. But it's a great place to explore. Also, George Hicks Park is really nice. It's a little loop. They get to see a beaver pond in the background. Every once in a while you see a beaver swimming back there as well. And then of course this part of the Swift Creek is really nice for walking dogs too.
Right. And so let's flip the coin there a little bit. There's lots of people who say, oh, I don't really want to do an easy hike. I want to stretch my legs a little bit and get those lungs pounding and my heart pounding. Where would some of those trails be? Oh,
we got a number of those ones too, and some of my favorite ones are those type. McCurdy Meadows is a gorgeous hike to get up to the cabin area up there. Beautiful views along the way and great places to kind of take a rest and catch your breath again. It is a steeper sections of those trails as well. Swift Mountain is gorgeous as well. Great drive up there and then a nice hike too.
What about the rest of this trail?
Oh, the rest of the trail is gorgeous. So you get up to, like you're mentioning, that beautiful view from up there. They just put a brand new picnic table up that way, thanks to Yora doing that. And then as you walk down, you get into more gentler trails. You go across a really cool bridge and then into a beautiful rainforested area. The loop itself takes about an hour and a half or so, and it's just amazing, the different ecosystem that you see walking through there.
Right, and I think I mentioned this is the town of Valemount's water supply. It's really popular with the locals here. Most people come out here after work, They're here on the weekends and in the evenings in the summertime. It's a great hike because it has those varying factors. If you want to push yourself a little bit, go up to the viewpoint. There's a little bit of a hill you have to climb there, and then it's a really lovely view of the town of Valemount, right?
Oh, absolutely.
And of course the surrounding mountains.
And depending on the time of year that you come, you see all kinds of different wildflowers and berries as well.
Right, and you go through a number of ecosystems here. Like you say, once you get up to the suspension bridge, which is a pretty cool little suspension bridge built locally here by local contractors, then you go through basically a cedar rainforest, which is unusual for this area.
It is so beautiful in there as well too, and leads you up into other trails around the bike park area as well.
Cool. Well, let's keep going.
Sure, sounds great. Let's go.
Okay. So Marcie, let's talk about hiking in general, and what kind of things should people do before they head out on a hike, even a short hike, to keep safe?
Absolutely. Safety is paramount to anything that you're about to do. So before you head out, do check the weather. Find out what it's going to be like when you go outside. Up here in the mountains, weather can change suddenly. You could have a nice sunny day, clouds can blow in, and you can all of a sudden be in the middle of a hailstorm. So be prepared for that. Know where you're going and let people know where you're going and what time you expect to be back. I always have a backpack with me that has some safety gear in it as well. And if you're going very high up, make sure you have a way of contacting people if you need to.
Yeah, good advice. And take lots of water. Some of these trails are dry in the summertime.
Absolutely. And be aware of wildlife. Where you're going, there will be wildlife. Even in downtown, we do have a bear roaming around. So be prepared for that as well. Make sure you're making noise and know what to do.
Right, and maybe even consider getting some bear spray.
Absolutely.
Carrying it with you as well. I want to ask you, every year the Terry Fox Foundation hosts what might be the most challenging hike in this area. We talked about some of the more difficult hikes, and that's the Terry Fox Trek to the summit of Mount Terry Fox, which is just up the highway a little bit here, as a fundraiser that they do every year for cancer research. Have you done that hike?
Yes, actually I did. I did that about 2 years ago with my son, and we summited. It took us about 11 hours to go up and down. We were prepared. We made sure we had lots of water and checked in along the way as well. And snacks. It's important to have snacks with you too.
Yeah, absolutely. I've done it as well. It's a difficult hike. I should point out to people that you really don't want to attempt the summit unless you have some hiking experience. It's a pretty serious hike, but there are other shorter hikes there as well. I believe you can go as far as the junction, and then there's a new trail that goes up to, I think they call it Teepee Lakes.
Yeah, the Teepee Creek Trail. So there are two ways to go up now, and then there's some really cool signs up there to see too. Huckleberry Hill, and then one they call Splitsville. Those, just to see the signs alone, is worth the trek. The views up there are spectacular, and if you do make it to the summit, when you look back, all you see are mountains and more mountains. Just incredible. It
is pretty spectacular. You can see Mount Robson from there. You can see right into Jasper National Park from there. It's pretty cool. Okay, well, let's head out on the trail some more.
All right, let's go.
Okay, Marcie, where are we now?
We are at the bottom of the Swift Creek Trail before it goes up to the steep section.
Okay, that's what we were talking about before, to the viewpoint, and then on to the suspension bridge and the full loop.
Yeah, and loops all the way back down to the bike park.
Right. So let me ask you, we talked a lot about trails today. What's your favorite trail in the area?
Well, I have a few favorites actually. McCurdy Creek is one of my favorites, and then for normal, like everyday walking, the Swift Creek Trail is one of my top favorites.
Oh wow! And I know you've been on a lot of hikes since you've been here exploring the area. There is one that we haven't really talked about that's pretty spectacular, and that's the Aloha Trail. Can you talk about the Aloha Trail?
Yes, the Aloha Trail. So that's a more recent one, and they're just working on permissions for that one. It's a very cool trail that does have beautiful waterfalls and beautiful views. It is an active logging road, so we have to be very mindful about that when we go out to explore that trail.
But it is pretty unique for this area.
It is absolutely stunning.
So, in honor of BC Trails Day, which is June the 7th again, people want more information. Where do they get that information?
Well, there's two great places to go to find out more about the trails and everything to do in Valemount, and that's visit valemount.ca. And to learn specifically about the hiking trails, go to hikevalemount.ca. For hands-on experience tips and what to do and see here in Valemount and how to get there, do come to the Valemount Visitor Center. You might even see me there.
Okay, and what are the days and hours of operation there?
The Visitor Center is open 7 days a week, 8:30 to 4:30, and we will be expanding our hours in July and August to 8 p.m. in the evening as well.
Okay, and it's a great place for visitors to get information about Valemount and the area, but of course you have information on other parks and other scenic locations along the way. It's kind of a full-service information center, right?
Absolutely. We can give you information of all of BC and give you some guides if you need to go into Jasper as well.
Okay, where are you going to be hiking on BC Trails Day?
Oh, I will have to try and figure out one specific trail. I'm hoping to actually do a trail I haven't hiked yet.
Nice.
That's my goal.
All right, well, happy BC Trails Day.
Happy BC Trails Day, and thank you to all the volunteers that make it possible to do these amazing hikes.
You bet.